Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey, it's us. It's only us. We don't have a guest today. It's only Ask an Engineer.
3 weeks in a row we had guests.
I know, but then we ran out of guests. We ate them all. No,
Yeah.
they were just weren't visiting. We have an exciting show. We're here in Adafruit Factory.
That's right.
It's me, Lady Ada. We've got Phil here.
Hello.
We have some ginger ale. We have some tea.
That's right.
We're hanging out. What's on tonight's show?
Tonight's show, the code is LEDs.
What?
Use the code LEDs for 10% off everything in stock in Adafruit store. We'll go over the show and tell. People showed some great projects. We've got Mailbag. This was International Women's Day last week. Some news in the world of open source hardware. Some stuff from the Adafruit learning system. We got Time Travel Tuesday, Wearable Wednesdays, 3D Thursday, Pi Day, new products. We'll answer your questions of a trivia question, all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Maybe if we have time, we'll do a top secret. I have a top secret here.
Oh, a top secret?
I do have it right here.
Okay, well then I get to maybe show this graphic, the
Nice
top secret.
graphic.
Yeah, okay. Anyways.
Okay.
All right, let's kick off the show. Well, let's kick off the show. LEDs is the code.
Why is that the code?
Well, because we're gonna show
I love
an
LEDs.
an LED project later that you can eat.
Do we have any of those? Should I go get some?
I don't know where they are.
I think
They're somewhere around here.
Maybe I'll go run over
Yeah.
there.
Well, we'll do it when we're playing the video.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Anyways, we have a fun.
I think they got eaten. I hate when all the LEDs get eaten.
Yeah. All right. So let's get started here right away. This week we'll have time for lots of questions, I hope. Towards the
Yeah.
end. So everyone, get your engineering questions ready for the end.
Be
of
sure
the
to
show.
ask me where to get my PCBs.
Yeah, get that out of the way. Advanced Circuits, that's where we get them from. And we'll also be talking about some of the stuff that's been going on here in the shop. We're almost ready to make our decisions on a pick and place. Very big deal.
Big,
Anyways,
heavy picking places.
let's dive right in. The show and tell was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was short and sweet.
Yeah, well, we had a couple minutes extra. Some weeks with the show and tell, there's too many people, and we can't get to all of them. And then some weeks it's like 3 or 4 or 5, and that's really good because each person can show all their projects.
Yeah.
So first up was Chris Young. Chris does really cool projects that help disabled people.
Like
And-
himself.
Yeah, and he has.
Which is cool because he's like, I know what I want.
Yeah, and I think folks probably know his project. He has a multi-function remote for disabled people, which is really cool. He was showing his project that he did this week, or it's in progress,
Yeah.
and it's like a modified TV Begon,
Yeah.
which is
cool.
kind of neat.
He's like, I want more range. And he's like, where can I get more range? Oh, TV Begon schematic. So he used the TV Begon schematic.
Yeah.
Because actually, like, they went through like 3 revisions. Like,
Yeah.
you've seen like TV Begon improve. We started with 50-foot range, and we got 200-foot range at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we were testing the TV Begon, we were here in New York, and we were able to turn off TVs from a city block across the street.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
That wasn't us though. That was somebody else.
Yeah, and check out the show.
We would never do that.
No, we did. We
Oh.
did. I don't think there's no logins turning TVs off or on yet.
Yeah, that's true.
But check out the links. Chris also did he used the Pavre rendering.
Yeah.
And he has a link to that. If you're interested in making your circuit boards how they're going to look.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then Steve had a test set for mobile devices. It's super pro.
Yeah, he's on the Canonical team, and they're doing a Ubuntu test, I guess power test, to verify like, hey, like what happens if we run like Flash or play videos? What happens to the power draw?
Yeah.
So they have a power testing station. It's intense.
Yeah.
You can test like 12 devices.
And then Tom showed off his crystal set work. So he was able to tune into
Pittsburgh.
a radio station 3 to 4 excuse me, hours away.
Yeah.
And that was kind of neat.
That's cool.
Yeah. So everybody on the show and tell gets a show and tell sticker. All you do is email support@adafruit.com if you've been on the show and tell, and you get a handy dandy show and tell sticker.
Yay, vinyl stickers.
Yeah. We're seeing these pop up a lot lately. Wait, Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
You have to be selected, crafted, handcrafted. I don't know. No, actually, you just have to put your name down on our Google Plus page. Go to plus.google.com/plus symbol Adafruit, and look for the post where I say comment here. Comment at least a day ahead of time, so we have time to add you. And then, unless Google is too beta, you will get an invite every Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
And remember, daylight savings time is tomorrow. So it's
Yeah.
gonna change.
The code for tonight, it'll go an extra hour because
Oh yeah.
It's daylight savings.
No, daylight savings is at 2 in
Or
the
no,
morning.
it's the other one. But we're gonna go ahead and extend it another hour.
Okay.
All right, let's dive right into the rest of the show here.
Okay.
Mailbag. Here's Packet.
Packet
comes
the mailbag.
in. Yeah. So let's read this wonderful email. Customer
Greetings.
service.
All I see is greetings.
Greetings, the mini POV. Quite honestly, I wasn't expecting much, and I really expected to screw it up. But I have to say, I'm damn impressed. It was easy to solder all up, and on the online instructions couldn't be easier to follow. Although my eyes aren't what they used to be, I used mine to make a safety vest for cycling since I like to ride at night. Just weaved in a black mesh vest and it looks great. Thanks so much, Andrew.
That's nice.
Yeah. The instructions on that kit have been battle tested.
They have been 5 years tested.
5 years, thousands and thousands of kits.
Thousands of kits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some news that is not really relevant to the show, but we have our team coming out this week.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of folks who work around the world, and some of them that are heading out.
Part of Adafruit International's I got to.
Yeah, and so Tyler and Justin and Bruce, Tyler and Justin work on the learning system, WebID, and Bruce, he's our creative director. He does illustrations and graphics and all that. So we're trying to get more people out here.
We're flying them in on the Adacopter.
Yeah, no, and then we have other folks that work with us that we'll have out throughout the year too.
Yeah.
It's always hard to coordinate everybody. So this one is. We're working on a site redesign soon, and we're combining everything at Adafruit into one kind of really cool experience.
Like a burrito.
Yeah. So Tyler and Justin and Bruce, and then if all goes well, this week Beth Comstock, the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of GE, is going to be here at the Adafruit factory.
Yeah, we just emailed her and said, "Hey, you want to come visit?" She said, "Okay."
Yeah.
That's easy.
So
how hard was that?
Well, for 3 or 4 years, her marketers and people that she works with have wanted you to be. They do these private dinners, and we thought it would be a little bit more interesting to have Beth out to a maker factory.
Yeah.
And maybe show her around and take some photos and have it a little bit more not private.
We have plenty of cheddar goldfish. We don't have to go to a private dinner.
Yeah. So, anyways.
We also have combos.
That's all the stuff that's going on. And so we won't have the team on Ask an Engineer or anything like that, but probably later on this year. Last year we had Phil, Paint Your Dragon, out. We had Bruce out briefly. We had Tyler out. So now this is the first time we're meeting Justin in person.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
We see him every week. We do Google Hangouts with our staff that are remote. And we try to see people as much as we need to. Or
if you like the learning system, you like Justin.
Yeah, and then we get to see Phil sometimes, Paint Your Dragon, in our show and tell. He shows cool projects.
That's true.
Anyways, let's keep moving on. So next up, it was International Women's Day last week, and there was a couple interesting things around the web that I thought was cool. One of them was Nature has a cover story. It's Women in Science. And if you're interested, if you have a daughter, a sister, a niece, you want to kind of help them figure out what type of careers are out there and some of the challenges and also some of the progress that's been made, check it out. Really good. I spent some of the morning reading all the online articles.
Yeah.
That was
cool
really
photo.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then Make had this fun roundup, all the as many as they could fit in a square. Lots of prolific women makers. So there's Aya and Becky and Leia and all these folks. Jerry, that a lot of people know from the maker world.
Yeah.
That are women.
Diana.
So fun to celebrate.
A significant portion of these women are in New York.
New York is a maker, I guess, hub, yeah. We were just talking about that. Certainly 3D printing, certainly kind of more manufacturing now.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of, you spoke at a UN event this week.
That's right.
Yeah. And here's a photo from it. So you spoke, there was someone there who does microloans in Kenya,
yeah.
A policymaker. But tell me about your talk. What were you talking about this week?
This is an interesting talk. This was a talk about like women running businesses and entrepreneurship. And actually, there's a lot of young women there who had questions about, what's it like to be an entrepreneur, and they want to become entrepreneurs, and they just had questions about it. So that was really cool. But a lot of it was just talking about what we're doing to try to reach younger people with engineering. So we talked about Adabot and the plushies and the coloring book and the animated or live action puppet show. I don't know what yet it is, and the games and the iPad app and all the stuff that we're doing to try to get people really who are very young interested and comfortable with electronics, because it's so cool, because they are surrounded by electronics but they don't know what's in them, right? So all kids know how to use cell phones. Like, kids have cell phones when they're like in 3rd grade or younger even, and they're like experts at using technologies, but they don't know how to make them. And I think it's really important for them to understand that electronics isn't just something you buy, it's also something you can build.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that we grew up in a time where there was modems, and you kind of had to understand how computers work to use computers.
It was tough.
But now
we figured it out, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, you built a computer, and you had to learn how to program to do certain things if you really wanted, and you had to kind of be an expert. But now, kids today, they only know technology as it's been presented, which is like every TV has a pause button.
Yeah.
Every
which is really cool.
Every computer screen is a touch screen, or every device, and it's a lot different. The TV is more of a computer.
Yeah.
It's a big menuing system and all that. You don't have to set up your own XML feed to have your guide get slurped in, even if you played around with Myth TV as some of this stuff got going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember having a TV tuner and configuring PCI stuff inside of a Packard Bell computer that it was just kind of a mess.
That sounds crazy.
It was always a mess. But I thought the talk was interesting. I thought you gave some good advice. The question always comes up: what can young women do to have better work environments in engineering or science? And you gave some interesting advice. You said start your own company, because then you get to set the culture.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
So are you here?
Yeah.
I'm boss lady.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat. Okay. Some news in the world of open source hardware.
Yes.
So this is kind of neat. I don't know if this was planned or how this is working out, but there's 2 events in April. The first one is the first open source hardware jam. It's in April, and we're a sponsor. I guess we're also called a partner in this. It's in New York. And then the next one is Hardware Freedom Day, and this is also in April. And
this is not in New York, this is in California, right?
I think so.
It's California.
It might be posted up, links in the chat.
Yeah.
But these 2 events are interesting. So the Hardware Documentation Jam is to get best practices, continue to work on...
Documentation is hard.
Documentation is really hard. All the different things that go into making open source hardware. And then the Hardware Freedom Day is celebrating your freedom to do all sorts of things. So lots of different devices, lots of things like that. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. Every week we have something in the Adafruit Learning System. There's a lot of stuff going on. So first one is updated tutorial. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, these are just tutorials we moved over to the learning system. So this is the breadboard power supply kit. So that's been copied over all nicely. We're getting to some of the kit documentation, which is the hard stuff. We wanted to get the learning system a lot more what's the word? Cohesive.
Yeah.
Before adding these more complicated.
Yeah.
Comprehensive.
LadyAda.net documentation is almost fully migrated over
we're trying to migrate everything.
The Learn system.
I think 75% of it's migrated, close maybe 80%. We're getting to the last ones.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then once everything's been moved, then we have to do a sweep and fix all the links, because there's all these links that link tutorials, link to tutorials, but they all link back to LadyAda, so we have to go through. But we don't want to do that till every tutorial's in, because we don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
So then we'll be able to hopefully segregate all the tutorials onto Adafruit, which will be really cool, because then we can start doing more integrative stuff.
Yeah. And then next up, you cranked out this tutorial when you were supposed to be home resting. This was.
I had a bit of a cold. I had a bit of a cold, but I was just like, man, I'm home. I should write a tutorial. So I wrote a 10-minute tutorial. But it's actually a really useful one. I was actually, because I was messing around with the USB bootloader, and I was like, man, I'm up to COM port 38, and then there's some software that I use where you can't have a COM port over 4. It's really old software, we were messing with that camera.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, you know, I should post up this trick I know about how to view hidden COM ports. Actually, maybe you can show the other photo, or do you?
No, I just have this one.
Okay, well, if you look at the tutorial, there's in Windows, each COM port gets a new number. So like you start with COM port 3, and then like if you're like me, before you know it, you're up to like 68.
Yeah.
And the only way to really get rid of them is to uninstall them, and the only way to do that is to show the ghost devices when they're not plugged in. Otherwise, you have to like plug it in and uninstall it. But you can, by setting some environment variables, have all those COM port devices appear, and then you can uninstall them, and so you can clean those up once they're not used, especially since like I'm doing bootloader hacking, so like every time I plug it in I get a new one. Yeah. So check out the tutorial. It's easy, it's fast, but I don't know of any other tutorial about it, so thought it'd be handy.
Alright, we're going to keep moving along. So we have this Manufacturing Monday, which is also sometimes called Factory Friday. These are some photos from Instagram that some of our staff took. These aren't the beautiful John Engineer factory photos. These are more like our staff are just taking
these
photos.
These are the barely legible photos.
Yeah, these are the filter photos, but I think they're neat because it's a view of what we do here.
That's our oven.
Yeah, so this is some LED testing that James is doing with his project.
James's LEDs.
Yeah, this was our oven. This is a tester. And then this is
a chip programmer.
Yeah, and then this is some prep for our badges. We just got these in.
Oh my God!
Cats,
it's full of scratches.
Yeah, this is the scratch badge. And then here's a photo from when we were testing the Amplify.
What's cool about Colin is he actually looks like he could be in like a 1970s Polaroid photo.
He is.
He's got that classic look.
Yeah. So next up, we've got Time Travel Tuesday. And Time Travel Tuesday is our look back in the world of makers, and all sorts of stuff. Let's start this off. In 2012, we debuted
some badges.
The badges. We had UAVs, educational mini quadcopters, biohacking.
What's funny is like we had to draw that badge and the badge / sticker a bunch of times because you're like, well, we have to make it look really friendly and happy. It's like, how do you make a quadcopter look friendly and happy? Because like
it is happy and friendly.
No, but it is. But it's like we wanted to make sure that it was like super friendly, happy quadcopter.
Yeah, someone just gave us a really neat idea for a badge. We have a couple more that we're going to do, but Mike in the forums, who's now in helping us in the customer support forums, he's really talented. He wants to do a cryogenics badge, so he can award it to someone who's really cool. Yeah, so I think it's just going to be like maybe a head and a little freezy thing. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Okay, going back in time. So that was 2012. We're going to skip around a little bit. 2007, this is when we were, I met Colbert, and you met Colbert.
We went there to see Mark
Fromfelder. Make was on the Colbert Report, and we were the tech setup to help out.
I brought my cell phone jammer in case we needed it.
And then you fixed the little mousey project that broke.
Yeah, we got the soldering iron because it broke in transit.
Yeah.
And John Hodgman showed up, and he really liked the cell phone jammer.
Yeah. And then next up, in 1937, first woman in space.
Whoa.
Valentina Tereshkova was born March 6, 1937.
Look at all the badges she's got. No, those are medals. But
she's hardcore. She got all the skill badges for that one. And then here's kind of some...
We will have to eventually have a I've been in space badge. Because like, people are going to start doing space tourism.
Yeah, we awarded the Tesla badge. Ethan built a Tesla coil.
We have a near space badge, but we will probably need like a I've been in orbit badge or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and then here's a special time travel one. You and I met at South by Southwest about 6 years ago.
Yeah, we were making trouble.
We were making trouble. We made we had a Bluetooth controlled Roomba that was hacked, and then we turned it into Frogger. We made it look like a frog, and then we put it in traffic until it got ran over.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that Frogger?
It got ran over. Yeah.
Did we throw it out?
It's in a museum now.
I don't know. It was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It was definitely ran over.
There was a lot of tequila that night. Okay. Next up, in 1886, the first alternating power plant opened March 6th, 1886, in Great Barrington, Massachusetts.
That's cool.
Transmitted 500 volts of the power-driven water mill until a storage damaged the plant afterwards, and the project was abandoned.
Oh man.
Wah, wah, wah. It happens.
But it was alternating.
Yeah. Next up.
Who's that?
This is Alexander Volta.
Volta.
Volta born, let's see, 1847.
Yeah.
Volta is in our coloring book. So if you want to see anything about Volta, so made volts. And what's a volt, Lady Ada?
Oh boy.
Is that hard to explain?
It is hard to explain.
Yeah. Is it electrical potential between
It
two
is,
things?
but it's defined as trying to think. It's like it's defined as like a certain amount of like, it's a distance of how far you like. It's how much potential you have when you pull like a positive negative charge a certain amount, and like I do not remember the math,
Yeah.
but I remember like 'cause I remember when I was
It's charge.
It's the potential of moving charges apart, and if you have like exactly one like proton, one electron, and you pull them apart, there's like a certain distance and a certain amount of charge.
Yeah.
That it's called 1 volt.
Yeah. There's this weird thing in physics. There is something
forgot
that
all of
when
that
you
in
pull it
physics.
apart, it actually gets stronger. Someone got a Nobel Prize for that. There's a weird thing that happened. Yeah. Apparently the universe is a little bit weirder than we thought it was.
That is weird.
Yeah. Anyways, next up, Wearable Wednesday. Wearable Wednesday this week. There was a lot of stuff in the wearables world, and we also have our video, that Becky did. Now, this isn't a wearable project. We'll get to that in a second. But the big news in wearables this week, I think, is Dita Von Tess, I believe that's her name, has the first fully 3D printed articulated dress, and I believe it was Shapeways who worked on this.
Jeez.
Really intense stuff. And so check it out. There's photos all over, of course, because she's a well-known model. But really beautiful dress, so you can see. And then the intersection of this is almost in 3D Thursday, but the intersection between the 3D printing world, the wearable world, and the fashion world, like every week there's like the fashion people are just diving right in.
I love it. We're doing stuff too.
Yeah, and we have our stuff. So that being said, this week kind of a dream came true. So LEDs to me always look like tasty, and they always look like
Especially
something.
the red ones.
The red ones, and so this week,
They're just like little pomegranate seeds or something. I don't know.
Becky and Molly, Becky, our director of wearable electronics, and Molly, our COO, worked on a project together. Want to watch the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna go find some of these.
Here's the video.
We'll bring them back. We'll eat them.
Welcome to Wearable Wednesday. Oh, I guess we're doing Edible Wednesday today. This is Molly. She makes stuff happen here at Adafruit. Today we're going to make these LED gummy candies happen here in my kitchen. We're going to make a mold from some 10mm LEDs and some silicone food-safe rubber, and then 3D print some LED legs to use as toothpicks for these delicious tart gummy candies. First things first, we're going to make a mold directly from some 10mm LEDs. You know, those ones that look like gumdrops to begin with. So cut out 5 pieces of foam core, 1 floor of your mold and 5 walls. The dimension of our mold is 15 by 11 inches because that's what size will fit in my freezer drawer. And I've raised the floor of the mold off of the working surface by 1 inch so that the leads of the LEDs poking through will have a place to go while still maintaining a nice level mold. While I'm normally not a fan of hot glue, this I believe is its true purpose. Use it liberally to create a nice tight seal. Now that I have everything laid out that I need, I'll turn on my scale, place my bigger measuring vessel on it, and zero it out. Zero it out again. And then 200 grams, here we come. 140, 150, 170, whoa, 197, 200. We got it. Okay. So I've got my part A and my part B measured out in quantity. I'm going to use my same stirrer, but once I mix the two, we're entering into what's called the work time of the silicone. It's the amount of time you have to work before it starts to get hardened, and I think this one's like half an hour, so we're not in a huge rush, but temperature can change that, so if it's really hot, it'll set up faster. Just be aware of your work time in case you have to work quickly or you want to make multiple molds. So I'm just going to pour part B right into part A, start mixing it, and then pour it into my mold. So now's the time when you would check your mold for leaks. If you need to patch up a hole, you can use packing tape, you can use more hot glue. You can save your mold from leaking all over the place if it is leaking at this point. So now it's time to let the mold cure for 24 hours, and then we're going to follow the manufacturer's instructions for making it ultra food safe, which involves baking it in the oven, and we'll get on to the candy making. You need to start 1/3 cup of cold water. I got that. We have plain gelatin, 3 packets, and we want to dissolve it in the cold water very slowly so we don't get any lumps. So it's going to be a whole like sprinkle stir kind of dance. So you want to stir and I'll sprinkle. Sounds good. It's really solid now. It's like a paste. So we'll grab our plastic wrap. Now it's beginning to have the consistency of Play-Doh. And we'll leave it on the counter for 10 minutes. So now we have our flavor packet, which is strawberry, and we're going to add it to our gelatin, which is heating over this double boiler. You want to gradually add it in, the same way we did with our gelatin. So now we've added the entire packet, and we're going to add a little ascorbic acid to give it a little bit of a kick flavor. It's going to make it a little bit sour. Now you want to be sure to add the ascorbic acid at the end, because the heat can change the flavor very quickly. And as soon as you add that acid, you want to turn your heat off and get it right into the fridge. Only take the very clear stuff out of the bottom. Now we can begin adding our solution into our mold.
To create realistic leads for our LEDs, we designed a file in 3D to print in PLA, a corn-based plastic, and you can find that file by following the link in the description below.
We popped the mold in the freezer for a couple minutes to make them easier to unmold, and since the silicone is flexible, we can kind of just go. We hope that you found our LED gummy candy presentation enlightening. So please join our weekly show and tell on Google+, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Great joke, Molly.
All right, candy.
They were tasty. So we had the party where everyone got those LEDs.
Yeah.
And they were like eaten up in like 5 minutes.
Everybody ate them all.
I ate like 6 of them. They were really good. The red ones were kind of like a strawberry flavor.
Yeah.
They were tasty.
So next up, 3D Thursday.
Yeah.
3D Thursday this week. I guess big news in there was a lot of stuff going on, but the big news that happened this week was Bree at South by Southwest previewed the MakerBot digitizer, and so this is what it looks like. It's all prototype. It's not
Yeah.
real yet.
I think it's just a preview.
It's a preview. But basically, one of the things that MakerBot wanted to solve, and I think anyone who's doing 3D printing wants to solve, is how do you make a 3D scanner?
Well, it's modeling is so hard.
Yeah.
Like you can model this stuff, but it's hard. Although, you know, it's interesting. We actually just watched how it's made, where we saw how animation models were made.
Yeah.
And I actually I always kind of sort of assumed that they were fully 3D modeled, but no, they actually clay model them, and then
some animation houses,
they mold them, and then they do a 3D scan of the clay or rubber made model, and then they adjust it to make the character, because it's actually really hard to do realistic precision modeling in 3D unless you're Pixar, where you have just a lot of people.
Yeah. When we did the Kinect hack, and when Microsoft initially didn't like it, one of the things that we were thinking about is not this version of the Kinect, but future versions might be appropriate hardware, and it'll be low cost because it's a commodity thing.
Yeah.
That you could potentially make a 3D scanner, and you can use a Kinect to do kind of rough 3D scans. There are ways to do it. Bigger objects, maybe it's easier. But this is kind of interesting because this will be a 3D scanner. And I kind of like how MakerBot aesthetic, you know, they came in with a laser cut wood thing.
Yeah.
And they showed these lasers going on this gnome, and then they showed what...
We have, line lasers too. So, you know, people who want to build their own laser scanners, this technology is actually quite old.
Yeah.
We use a line scanner, and then you have the camera, and it picks up the line, and it sees the profile. So it's like you see the profile shot.
Yeah.
You can build that using some of the lasers we have in the shop. In fact, that's why I carried line lasers, not just point lasers.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh wow, this is really handy for when you're making a laser scanner. Otherwise, you have to get a prism, and it's just pain. But these have the prism built in. So yeah, maybe we should do that as a project. That would be a cool project to show off. Because there's software out there for doing it.
And if all goes well, we'll have a big announcement in the 3D printing space this week.
Ooh.
Coming up.
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
It is not out yet.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Yeah, I can't even say anything yet.
Yeah.
Next up, Pi Day. Pi Day, every Friday we post up tons of stuff. Matt kind of cranks through a lot of one. You send me some, I send Matt some.
Yeah.
We put them all on the Adafruit blog. And this week, I'm just going to pick out one because we're going to get new products. This one is from Phil B. Paint Your Dragon.
Yeah, this was sweet.
Yeah.
This was like half like pager holder, half like utility pie.
Yeah, it's cool
it.
if you want to make a wearable pie.
So you took the pie bow case and changed the bottom plate so you could like belt mount. Although you could also like hang it from any kind of strap, which could be really useful.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get on to new products, the code is LEDs. Use the code LEDs in honor of these candy LEDs. Use the code LEDs for 10% off.
They're all gone.
Up until like 2 a.m. or so because you know there's a time change.
Yeah.
But code is LEDs.
People need more time to buy stuff.
10% off.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Let's go to new products.
There's
Yeah. New product time, lady.
New.
Okay, new products. This is not exactly a product, but we do have it. It is Circuit Playground, and we have some updates. The big update for Circuit Playground is PDF viewing. So if you're using Circuit Playground,
PDF importing, which is right.
Well, you can import the data sheets. So the big thing is you can send you can use any app, so it's system level PDF stuff. So
which is handy.
Yeah, system level PDF support, allowing apps like Mail and Safari to send data sheets over to Circuit Playground. So let's say if someone emails you a data sheet,
you can
save it to Circuit Playground.
Yeah. Or if you're online and you're like at the TI website and you see a data sheet, you can then open in and you're going to open in iBooks. Yeah. You can open in Playground, and so you have like your data sheet stored.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So cap code for the labeling was fixed. All up calc show the circuit name top bar that's on the iPad. Optimized standard values on the LED resistor calc. Differential calc warning shown with saved values. Toolbar always visible after datasheet viewer. USB A pinout illustration updated with pin offset. Lots of little fixes.
It's like my favorite app.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm so glad that I had this app written for me.
Yeah, no, it was you're the #1 customer.
Yeah.
So everybody give some big ups to Colin
for
updating this.
Colin did excellent.
Yeah, so it's
it is the best circuit app.
It's the best engineering app out there.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, this is sort of a new product, but I have to mention the new product section. So sign up if there's a new product coming.
New BeagleBone.
New BeagleBone. We can't say anything more. But if you sign up on the product page, we'll have them. They're getting us a big chunk of them.
Well, we can see how much it's going to be.
Well, we can't really say anything, so I don't want to mess up. Okay. But anyway, sign up, and TI and their partner is making sure we get plenty of these, and it's pretty powerful. You'll like it, and it's going to be at a really good price. So sign up. So that it's in our new product section. So
there's awesome stuff like built-in flash and HDMI.
Yeah. And
all sorts of good stuff.
And we have one and we're using it and it's working out. We like it. Okay, next up. Scratch badges are in stock. We got permission. Scratch, very popular, fun to use.
We always get permissions for all of our badges. That's why they take longer.
Yeah.
Like the Pearl badge. They didn't get back to us for like 8 months. But when they did, they approved it, we got them made.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, we're experimenting. So because we have Lots of kid-friendly stuff. We're getting suggestions from parents and educators. So this one is a marker. It's a Crayola piece of hardware, and the folks at Griffin made it, who makes really good accessories. So this is the Crayola Color Studio HD, and it's basically a coloring book app, and it's a smart pen that works with an iPad. So we have a real coloring book.
I'm also excited to take this thing apart and figure out how it works.
Yeah, there's some neat things that, So a lot of these kind of kid-friendly things are also hacking, and so we have this in our store. Check it out. It's a coloring book for iPad. Kid-tested, Lady Ada approved app.
Okay.
Next up,
we have
Box.
hardware. Okay, so we used to make and carry the fuse box, but we eventually discontinued it. It wasn't terribly popular, and we wanted to make a bunch of improvements, and we never got around to it. But the Oozebox team eventually made their own kit, which is kind of like half based on our design and whatever, and it was really cool, and it added improvements such as an SD card bootloader. We really liked this kit, and so we thought, hey, like, let's just have this kit available in the store. It's very complete, and it supports the Oozebox project. So we have it. This is it assembled. It comes as parts. The circuit board has the one surface mount chip put on it. All the other parts are through hole. It's really easy. It comes with an SD card which has all these games on it, and a controller. So it's actually a really fun project, and we have one that's put together here that I can show off.
Yeah. Also, I saw some photos from John Janier.
It's an awesome photo.
These photos are.
Yeah, check out the first one. The first one's sweet.
Yeah.
With our 7-inch display.
Let me get this out of here real quick. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, you want to go to the overhead?
Yeah.
Do a demo?
I have a little demo, so I can. So I've got the Oozebox over here, and I've got this 7-inch display, and I've got the SES controller, and I'll play. Let's see, what am I going to play? I'm going to play Megatris.
Bing.
Let me move the speaker. I have a little speaker. Okay. So there's like a dozen different games and demos, a couple dozen different games and demos on the SD card. It's also really easy to write more games. It's actually one of the easiest like DIY game platforms. Like I played around a lot with the, what's it called? What was the name of that other system? The Lamoth one?
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it. It was so long ago, but I really like this one, and it has a really good tiling system that's really, really easy to use. So like you can write like your first game in like an hour or two, and I still have the tutorials up on how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have tutorials on how to be good at Tetris though. So yeah, I like it. You can also get more SNES controllers in the store if you want to do 2-player games. And I like how it has like a speaker output too.
Yeah.
Bleep, 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 or sound output. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop playing because I'm distracted.
Everybody watch Lady Ada.
Yeah, I don't like this play. But the neat thing is that there's the SD card bootloader. So if you reset, these are all the games that are stored. It's hard to see, but there's like Arkanoid and Bomberman, like all these games that were ported to the Oozebox, Donkey Kong, Dr. Mario. So there's like 4 pages of games.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
And all the code is open source, so that if you want to like learn, like, okay, well, how do you write Pong? There's a tutorial on how to write your own Pong game, which I think is really neat for people who are interested in how to do low-level game writing.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a good thing to give a kid and say, you can play any game you want. You just have to like, modify it.
You have to compile it yourself.
You have to compile it. Oh, that's a good thing.
So yeah, this is really cool. And what's neat, it's just all on an AVR. And like somehow they like got all this stuff working in a super tight like output loop on an Atmega 644.
Yeah.
It's running at 28 megahertz. It's a little overclocked, but there's no problem with that.
Yeah,
We've tested them and never had a problem with that. There's also some extra GPIO if you want them.
Okay. Next up, this is a cool product. It's our temp sensor.
Oh yeah, hold on, let me get the next demo.
Yeah.
Running.
The temp sensor is interesting. That chip is tiny.
Yeah, actually, you know what? We should maybe next week we'll get the microscope out and we'll take a photo of the.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get my demo ready. Take a photo of the chip because it's a 0.5 pitch BGA.
Yeah.
Which like totally sucks. I wasn't completely sure that we would be able to have it up and running on the pick and place, but actually the pick and place, the MDC.
Even though we're about to get a new pick and place, our MDC is a very precise machine.
It's very precise.
Not the fastest, but it's very
and
precise.
we had a little bit of a little bit of yield issue, but not significant. So hopefully you can see the numbers over here.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about this temperature sensor is all the other temperature sensors we have in the store, thermocouples, thermistors, TMP36s, DS18, B20s, etc. They're all contact-based temperature sensors. So what they do is they actually they use the side effect that the diode of like a diode forward voltage changes with temperature. There's like the exponential temperature E, BQ, whatever, over T minus, whatever. And so by measuring the voltage across a diode, they can essentially figure out what the temperature is. But the problem is that the diode has to be in contact with whatever it is you're measuring. A thermistor is similar.
Yeah.
The resistance changes with temperature. It's a temperature sensitive resistor. So what's interesting is that this is actually does not use that at all. This is a totally different concept, which is an IR thermopile. And how that works is that the sensor, it's very small, but it's actually, I don't know the physics behind it, but it can measure IR radiation from something. And so that's how it can measure the heat of a body that's far away. So it's actually measuring, you can measure the temperature of the sensor itself, also the temperature of things that are in front of the sensor, but they don't have to be touching, just in front. And you can look at the data sheet for like the range, and you can also like adjust what the cone of radiation, because it takes a measurement of an entire area. But right now it's measuring about 22, 23 degrees, which is the sort of ambient temperature here. So you can get it to, and then if I put my hand over it, it'll actually measure the radiated temperature of my hand, which is about 35 degrees. I'm not touching it. I'm actually just putting my hand kind of over it. And then I can have a cold thing. I've got this like icy thing, and then I can put that in front of it, and the temperature will drop. Oh, there you go. So I have to kind of hold it without dropping it. But so it can measure hot or cold things from a distance, which I think is kind of interesting. There's other sensors that do this, but this is kind of a low-cost alternative. Like the Melexis ones are much more expensive. This one isn't too bad, and so we can offer
what distance would you say it's good for?
It takes an average reading, so it's an effect of how big the area is. I think it's like a meter or so, approximately-ish, but it depends, because the closer it is, the smaller the cone of the area. Because otherwise, I mean, it's taking the measurement of like the entire room right now. So do check the data sheet, because you have to figure out like the angle versus distance, because it's measuring radiated IR. It can measure like any distance, but it's just a much broader spread of area that it's measuring.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And with that is new products for this week.
Short but sweet.
Zoom. All right. Let's get to. You want to do It's Not Out Yet?
Yeah, sure. I can. Hold on.
Okay. You wanted to do It's Not Out Yet.
Wait. Yeah, I can demo this.
Okay. We haven't had one of these in a bit, so okay. Top secret, it's not out yet. Don't ask any questions about this. It's not out yet.
Yeah, well, I just got this together, and I was like,
all right, here it is. What is this thing? Wait, I'm asking questions.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
This is a breakout board that K-Town actually just finished. It's a LED plus capacitive touch sensor, and we're just testing this sensor out. We're probably going to make some changes before it's released, but you can touch it, and it has an output, but then I tied the output to the LED, so the LED lights up when you touch it.
Okay, very cool.
And it works through plastic, although I have to cut out a piece of plastic. But we wanted to make this is actually a really nice chip, so you can have like something glass or plastic between you and the sensor.
Okay, and that was top secret. So let's. There were some questions, so we're gonna start getting the questions right away.
Okay.
I have a little fun thing to share too after we get going. But a couple questions real quick. Would the IR temp sensor get confused with IR interference? If you were to put, infrared in it?
I think it's a different range of infrared because there's infrared that's like light, that's like we can associate with like IR remotes, and then there's like the thermal infrared, and that's way more to the side of the spectrum. Do check out the data sheet because they do have like the band, but I don't believe it would be affected by like 940 nanometer IR.
Okay. Next up, have you thought about stocking pH sensor electrodes?
I have, but it's hard to get ones that are good quality and a reasonable price. I also am not sure, like, how sensitivity and what the market is. It's something that's on my list, but don't have one I'm looking at right now. Yeah. If you have some suggestions, though, you should always email us. If you say, hey, like I've tried out this pH sensor, it's really good. You can email support, and like half of the products that are in the store are by suggestion.
Yeah. Will there ever be a Circuit Playground for Android? Our goal is to have Circuit Playground and all flavors of Circuit Playground on every type of operating system. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
But we have to focus on one at a time. I think Circuit Playground is the calculator app right now is getting close to a stable place. We have another really cool thing coming out, and that one we have more flexibility.
Yeah.
And that one, the next one, because we're kind of starting it with a lot of platforms.
There are some great apps for Android right now that you can use. Check them out. Electroid is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, next up, the IR temperature thing. Does that work through plastic? Will it work through something?
That's a good question. It should work through a clear plastic, but I don't know if it'll work through all colored plastic. Okay. It has to be a plastic that, I guess it depends. The thing is that like whether the plastic allows IR through of the particular wavelength, but also like whether the plastic itself is going to be warm or cold might affect it. So I think actually it's probably not designed to be covered with something. There might be some materials that it can be covered with, but I'm kind of assuming like you probably can't, because I don't remember seeing anything in the datasheet that said these are the materials you can use. So I'm assuming maybe you can't.
Okay. Next up, folks want to know, will Colin ever make an appearance on the show? Absolutely. It's Saturday nights. I think things will get easier.
He's got parties to go to.
I think it'll be easier when we maybe move the show to the middle of the week and maybe on the middle of the day one day. That's kind of in the works, I hope, still.
One day.
Next up, could there be an FPGA Arduino?
There is a project that I saw once that was an FPGA that was emulating an AVR. Remember that one from a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
So you could use that, and it could actually fully emulate an AVR chip, and pretty much any FPGA could emulate a 16 megahertz AVR. And then you could have a purely FPGA based Arduino. I mean, you'd have to it's all the little timer stuff and like the ADCs and all those little things that you'll have to emulate. But otherwise, I don't see why not. The AVR core has been emulated. You just have to add a couple of extra accessories on there, like hardware accessories, and you're good to go.
Yeah. I have a little. We'll answer more questions, and I'll have my little show and tell thing.
Show and tell.
When starting with SMD, what size do you recommend standardizing on? 1208, 0805, 0603, other?
I think 1206 is really, really easy, so you can always start with that. It's pretty big. I think 0805 is a nice intermediary. Any smaller than that, it gets much harder for people to hand prototype. 1206 is pretty much even a beginner can do.
Yeah, someone says the Papillo FPGA platform might fit that bill. Yeah.
Could be.
Okay, I have a little show and tell. So this is a reel. People who do pick and play stuff know what these are, but this one's a little different. Speaking of electronic candy, this is a reel of candy.
Candy reel.
Yeah, so this is a candy reel, and this is kind of neat. So if you've ever bought surface mount components on a reel, this company, one of their marketing things.
You should definitely use PEZ and what is this? This is like 800 by 20. This is huge.
Yeah, well the neat thing about this is what they have at trade shows to show what they can do. But this company will, they're a tape and reel company, so they can take your components and put them on reels for you.
This is probably not food safe plastic, but we live on the edge.
Yeah, and what size would you say this is? Pretty big.
Yeah, this is like a centimeter by a half centimeter.
Yeah.
Or half an inch by What is it? What do you think? Is it half an inch or quarter? It's a little more than half an inch.
Yeah, it was good.
They're good though.
Anyways, so
Tasty.
yeah, this is a cool thing.
Now it's sour.
Yeah. So more engineering questions. Can you show it on the overhead? Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Why don't
There
you
you
do
go.
overhead?
Let's put it overhead.
You got the leader. Got more leader. Oh.
Let it focus a little bit.
PEZ.
Someone asks, is it Mayor Bloomberg approved because there's a ban on the big sugary drinks?
It's not a drink.
Yeah, that's funny. Now that is one way that I guess you can get around things is just like start putting candy on industrial equipment.
Yum. Yeah, I
Right.
remember getting this a long time ago, so it's cool that they were
So I'm saying,
still
is
in
it for
business.
real with the REEL? Okay, where do I find a recommended skill list for the various badges? There's a few places you can go. Go to adafruit.com/hackerscouts.
Yeah.
It's also the same URL as it goes the same place. Adafruit.com/academy.
Yeah.
And you can see all the skill requirement documents. And it's a school teacher, Adam.
Yeah.
Wrote these. He's a school teacher, and he awards
He's currently
badges.
in session. He'll be back soon.
Yeah,
after
he
school
awards
stuff.
badges to the kids for like 3D printing, and he actually came up with curriculum, and it's being used and deployed.
Yeah,
so
cool.
check that out. Okay, next up. Can the breadboard power supply be powered by a 9-volt battery clip?
Yeah, sure. Just plug it right in.
Okay. Next up, is there any way to calculate the optimum turn ratio for a coil on a washer launcher?
I don't know. I've never built one. That's a good question. But I'm sure the instructions that you're following, they probably have like a couple examples of like how many turns and what thickness of magnet wire and stuff. And then you can always experiment, like try a couple different windings and then see which one goes farthest.
Yeah. Okay. See if we have any more questions before we move on to next things. Dishwasher launcher.
I don't know what a dishwasher launcher is.
Yeah.
I know a washer launcher is like little rail guns.
Yeah. Why would you want to launch a dishwasher?
Maybe you really need clean dishes? I don't know.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to launch it. You'd want to keep it, right?
Maybe
Hard drive platter launcher.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways,
Yeah?
one other kind of programming note. We're almost ready to pick and place.
Yes.
It's basically getting narrowed down to a couple.
Yes.
Juki and Samsung right now.
Yeah.
And we're negotiating on pricing. We're negotiating on how
Shipping,
fast we can get
lead
it.
time.
And we're negotiating a lot of different
Extras.
things. So anyways,
Training.
that's a little update I want to tell you guys. Next up, I am building a voltage meter and logging it to SD card. I need a pretty precise measurements. Do I need to worry about power supply noise?
Yeah, you probably do. If you have to measure and you want to get like sub millivolt precision and accuracy, yeah, you'll want to have a really clean power supply.
All right. Next up, is there a tutorial for getting sample parts?
No, there's no tutorial because it's just basically filling out a form.
Okay.
So fill out the form, and if you work for a company or you're in school, you will probably be able to get sample parts. We have a huge list of places you can sample parts from. You can check the Adafruit blog. We post about it once in a while.
Okay, this one might have to go into the forums, but we'll see what we can do. In Arduino lesson 4, when I hook up the 5-volt from the Uno to pin 16 on the shifter, it doesn't work. But when I disconnect it, it does. Is it me or the schematic?
That sounds like a forum post. I don't know schematic on the top of my head.
Okay, I just got a transmitter and the receiver 4-channel mom, but the transmitter fires 3 channels at once. I don't know if that's a question.
That sounds like a forum question too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Without photos or
Yeah, that might be one for
it's
the
it's hard to
forums.
know what the question is.
Yeah. Would be interesting one day to be able to combine very fast ways to do like not show and tell, but ask
Yeah.
questions. Problem is it's just easier to type. It's just very
Yeah.
hard because each person, if they were to talk the question.
Troubleshooting questions are always like, what power supply are you using? Like it gets more complicated. It's
Yeah.
usually not a quick answer. That's why we have forums now.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that there isn't an easy forum package that has some of these video things embedded in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even getting photos. There's a lot of innovation for forums. I mean, I think we have one of the best, but still, I think there could be some more things.
Agreed.
Next up, is there a functional test spec for Arduino? I think I smoked some parts of mine.
I don't know that there's a functional test spec. There is a test program to test the IDE, but there's no test that I know of for Arduino. You can just try lighting up every pin on and off, plug an LED in, see if it lights up. If that works, then you're probably good to go.
Okay. Is there a tutorial for starting a small parts distributor business?
That I definitely don't know. I mean, you basically just have to be a business. It's a tough business to be in.
Yeah.
But
race to the bottom commodities are always hard.
Yeah, commodities are hard, but if you feel like you've got stuff that's good, you can always put up some PayPal buttons. We have a good maker business tutorial that we just put up, the software business. You could use that for shipping. I mean, still shipping parts around.
Yeah, it's not too much different than kit business. Take out the kit part.
Yeah.
Is it worth trying to build my own H-bridge, or is it just better to get one for cheapish?
If you're using a small motor, I would just get an H-bridge chip like the ones we stock in the store. The only time you would build one is if you need a higher efficiency than you would get, or if you're like, wow, I really just want to use parts I have kicking around the shop.
Do you have an open house day where people can see the Adafruit warehouse? No, we have a weekly show called Ask an Engineer.
You're on it.
Yeah.
You're here.
I have a cool project I want to share with the world. Will Tindy be a good choice? Yes. Actually, Tindy is really neat.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think...
you like it?
I do. If you're going to sell it, of course, that's kind of where you would want to go. If you just want to share it with the world, Instructables is a good place. If it's an open source project, Dazuki now has free hosting documentation for people.
Did we talk about that? Was that last week or this week?
That was last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Let's see.
Okay.
That's everything.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow, we might end the show at 11.
Yeah, we're going to actually end on time.
Well, I feel bad for George.
Yeah, well, can you guys stock more FPGAs?
We stock a really good FPGA board right now, the DEO Nano, and I think it kind of does everything you'd ever want. It comes with tutorials, it has an analog digital converter, it's got some built-in RAM, it's got USB connection. I mean, it's like very complete. It has a nice little plastic cover. I like it. When I see FPGAs I really like, I put them in the store.
Oh, someone wants to know, do we have a storefront? No, but our stuff is available in some stores in New York. One is AC Gears, and soon more places. We'll be able to talk about that later.
Yes.
We're not going to run a store. We might have a pop-up one, but a storefront doesn't make sense for us right now. But we will
have
put
like same-day shipping if you order.
But we will put our stuff in stores in retail environments. Some of our stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you plan to have a open workspace in our plant? No.
No.
And what's the highest precision resistors you can get?
Oh, you can get as precise as you want. Get like 0.01%.
And then last up, what are we gonna ever offer tours of the lab? Video tours we're gonna do.
I think that's like the fourth time somebody's asked if they can
answering. Yeah, so we can't have outside folks in. We have to schedule. It could be like friends of the company, business partners, stuff like that. But one of the things that we have is a space that, not retail, not customers coming in, something very specific. The building was very...
Yeah, it's not a customer building.
It's in our lease, no outside customers, no retail.
Yeah.
This is a manufacturing area.
Not retail zone. Okay, great. Let's go to the quiz question.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. We do technically have something in Radio Shack right now because we have the Micro, which has our Adafruit.
No, we have like the Moto Shield and the 2 Gun Kit too in Radio Shack.
Through Make, yes.
Yeah, through Make.
So we do. So we're on it. Okay.
We're on it.
It's trivia question time.
Okay.
What are the rules, Lady Ada, for the trivia question?
Rules are if you've won before, you can't enter again. So go make a sandwich or make some LED gummies. They're delicious. Whoever answers first with the right spelling gets the prize. I don't even know what is the prize.
The prize is going to be the temperature.
Oh yeah.
The thermopile.
Thermopile.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a thermopile.
All right. You ready? Who is the first woman in space? We had it on Time Travel Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
First woman in space.
She had all the badges.
She earned all the skill badges.
I don't even remember her name.
Crazed Anime? Crazy anime. The full name is out. Email support@adafruit.com, and you get
This lady.
thermophile. No. Valentina Tarasanova, Soviet cosmonaut extraordinaire, born March 6, 1937, first woman to fly in space. She was working at a textile factory when she was selected for her parachuting abilities.
And proletariat background.
Yeah, hardcore.
Intense.
So, very cool. So, email support@adafruit.com, and you will get
She
the
can
thermophile.
parachute. Yeah, we'll send you a thermophile. We have a bunch left in stock.
Yeah.
But also 10% off.
Yeah,
Wow.
and don't forget, one, your clocks are going to get spring forward.
Yes.
Way to remember it. The code 10% off everything LEDs.
Yeah.
A couple more hours. And MOSFET is not allowed in our factory, so here's our little tribute to MOSFET.
Yeah.
He's hanging out on the couch right now,
Yeah.
watching Star Trek Next Generation because we left the.
Yeah, he was like watching TV.
Yeah,
We
he was
felt
watching
bad. He was like,
Yeah, he was just hanging out.
Okay, leave it on.
And big news this week, we're going to have some cool stuff. We'll probably make an announcement about a new hire joining Adafruit. And we also have some big news. We'll have.
Which big news?
I'll tell you after I turn the camera off.
Oh yeah, that's big news.
That's kind of big news.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then.
It's like actually physically big as well.
Yeah, and yeah, lots of good stuff going on.
Okay.
And we'll let everyone know when we finally decide on our pick and place and get it in here. We'll have some live pick and place streaming because I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
All
it's
right.
cool. I actually made sure that all the pick and places we were picking out, you could get the video feed out of them, because that would be cool. Because like they have like the video feed for like the vision recognition,
Yeah.
so then we could stream that.
Yeah. All right. With
Flying
that being
vision.
said, thank you everyone who showed up at the show and tell.
Yeah.
Thank you all the staff who came out tonight. John Janier, Paint Your Dragon, Becky, George, Colin. I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
We'll be here next week, like we always are.
Yes.
And with all that being said, here is your moment of Zener.